When you think about airports, you probably think of long lines and crowded spaces and a lot of waiting around. But there is a different way to experience the airport. So Shoana's back with me now to share the scoop on airport lounges. And Shoans, I'm definitely a fan when we can do it. You travel a lot.
Yep.
You use the lounges. Do you have a couple of fabulous airport lounges that you love to use?
I mean, there are airport lounges in the world that are so over the top that I have not had the fortune of experiencing, which is bucket list type stuff for me.
Yeah.
But I have to say, two that come to mind, I really, really like the Air Canada lounge here at Pearson, Toronto's airport. It is so good. And many years ago, I was blown away. It was one of my first experiences with a lounge with KLM's in the Amsterdam airport. But of course, those are the hubs.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, part of it, like an airline lounge, probably going to be a little bit better in one of their major hubs, like their home bases, than maybe in other airports.
Now listen, you say airport lounge and people are like, oh, you're bougie.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You must be a millionaire. You gotta be so rich. So the reason why we wanted to talk about them on the show is because there are tons of delayed flights. There is a lot of chaos in the airport. You might be in a situation where you're delayed after delayed after delayed, and it's been 3, 4, 5 hours of you sitting on the hard plastic seats near the gate. And it is really a privilege to get to travel, but sometimes, if you look at the price of getting into a lounge, it would be about the same as your family camped out in a fast food restaurant in the food court in the airport. So let's talk a little bit about getting into the lounge, and then we'll talk about what you can expect when you're in that lounge.
You're 100% on everything you just said. And sure, there is a bougie part of the lounges for sure. Like, so how do you get into it? Well, the easiest or the first way is if you're flying business class, first class, you have elite status with an airline, or maybe a platinum, like you're top tier traveler with that airline with their points system. So you get lounge access for days from them. Now, if you're normal travelers like we are, where like premium economy is as bougie as we get, I'm excited for the leg room because like these guys, there's still lounge access for you, and so those can come. It changes dramatically from airport to airport, but there are two versions. Sometimes an airline-owned lounge. You can buy a pass to go into that. Not all of them, and to take it another level, sometimes they're divided into two. So there's a part of the lounge is for their elite flyers, and the other part of the lounge is for like the rest of us that pay to be there. And then, but still wonderful. And then there are companies that just open up their own lounge. They're not tied to a particular airline. It doesn't matter who you're flying, how you're flying, anything like that. You just pay a fee to get in to that, and you are going to make a reservation usually to get in that. Because there's only so many people allowed
which is why it's a nicer environment because you have some space.
Exactly. It's exactly right.
I'm going to tell you a story about a 15-hour delay with me and Leo and the kids, and they were like iPad age, and we were like, we're going to the lounge. And in a situation like that where there are plugs for their devices, there is food, they go from dinner to lunch to breakfast, they switch the food out. It is so much nicer to be able to do that stay in a lounge. Now you have to, some of them obviously have time limits, like maximum of 2 hours, maximum of 3 hours, but sometimes it actually just makes sense. When you walk in, depending on the lounge, what do you get in there?
So it does depend on the lounge. So the basics is, let's call it like kind of entry level. And one thing I'll say, before you pay to do a lounge, treat it like a restaurant. Look up what the reviews are for that lounge. Is it worth a, I don't know, $60 to $150 per person fee, 50, maybe 50, some of them might be 50. Is it worth that? And what are you looking to get out of that lounge? I have an experience about that I can tell you about. But the basics, let's say, is you're going to get food, some form of food included.
Like real food.
Real food, and then beverage included. And that's always non-alcoholic drinks, of course, juices and waters and things of that nature, pop and stuff. But then there's usually like a basic bar menu.
Red wine, white wine.
Red wine, white wine, beer, domestic beer. And then there might be an elevated menu where you can pay extra for it. Then we're going to take it to another level. So that's the kind of your basic, what you're getting. Another level, they can go so incredibly over the top, beautiful. Like you can book massages. There are napping, sleeping rooms where you get a private room to have a sleep. There's showers are very, very common in them. to take a shower mid-flight. And so if you're traveling on like some 28-hour trip across the world, a shower, like in the middle of it, and fresh face and clean hair and change of clothes. Like, take my money if I can. If I can squeeze that in the budget, then go ahead.
Also, now, what we like to do is we'll just say, do you think we can take a peek if we go? Because we're trying to weigh, like, how long are we going to be here? How much is the food going to cost versus the lounge? They will often let you take a peek inside to see, like, is there hot food that you want to eat, like real food, or is it chips and chicken nuggets? So tell me about sometimes what you might find in the lounge.
We had one experience recently, actually, that we wanted a full meal. So this is why you have to weigh it. What do you want as much as what are they going to offer you? We wanted a full meal before our flight. We were on vacation, so we have a tradition of having a glass of champagne at the airport before we get in the plane.
Tradition.
We didn't look up the review. This time we didn't. We went, and it was chicken fingers, chips and salsa, terrible wine.
It wasn't good. Oh, bad wine.
And I'm not being a snob about it. It was just bad all around. So we had to pay extra to get the better wine. We had to not get our kind of full, we just picked at the cold French fries and the chicken fingers. Where if we had taken that, we paid $60 for that one. If we had taken that $120 plus champagne, we could have had a full meal at a restaurant.
Got it.
So you want to weigh. You want to weigh. That was just one experience. The rest of them are usually so wonderful.
Totally. And it's good to know about the good and the bad. We like to get that here. So, Shoans, thank you so much for that.